welcome to the another episode of Intucast Lab. I'm your host Deepika. Welcome back again with yet another interesting, exciting, and super informative topic for all the EV enthusiasts and the IoT aspirants. So the topic for the day is IoT for EV. To talk on the same, we have the industry expert Mr. Kamal Rupareliya in the show today. So yeah, hi Kamal, how are you doing today?
Hey Deepika, thanks for having me here. I'm very excited to talk about this kind of cutting edge topic that's very important right now for the betterment of the whole Earth because we are going through some crisis in
Right, right.
like global warming and everything. So great to be
Yes.
here.
All right. The pleasure is ours as well. So likewise, there are so many topics about TV, whether EV is overhyped, whether the people are actually benefiting out of it, is it highly costing to the people, or is it really sustainable, or what? To answer all these questions, we have the esteemed speaker, and I'm ready with my list of questions. To start with the basic, what EV industry is all about, and how IoT is actually revolutionizing the industry. Could you share some brief on it?
Sure. So EV, I think most of the people are familiar with it. It is electric vehicles, and electric means most of the components within the vehicle are also electric. It doesn't
Right.
require the mechanical like IC engines, internal combustion engine, and because of that nature, including motors and battery, whatever the power it's providing, it doesn't have any fuel or anything. All of the components are electric. It means like that digital data can be extracted, it can be controlled digitally,
Hmm.
and if we connect them to the internet,
Right.
then we can make it connected devices.
Hmm.
So the whole nature of IoT can definitely be implemented in the EV industry, and it is one of the very beautiful example of how IoT can benefit EVs. Some
Right.
of the areas those are the most beneficial is the real-time monitoring.
Hmm.
We can control the vehicles remotely. We can also give some statistics data, things like battery management and charging infrastructure. All those can be done using IoT technologies, and that makes the whole process kind of very efficient and cost effective. Another biggest aspect of IoT, because of the vehicles can be like kind of monitored and controlled remotely, the whole new leasing and financing ecosystem can be very productive and efficient when it comes to the EV and IoT device connected EVs.
Right, right. So you highlighted so many benefits that EV offers to real users as well as to the manufacturers or OEMs or the another equipment manufacturers and everyone. So I believe EV for end users it's just a car or the another equipment or the devices. But for the manufacturers, it is divided into multiple aspects. So I believe for each and everyone there has to be the different use cases and applications of IoT into it. So, what could be that for different people, for different industries into the EV sectors?
So I think if we talk about the applications, the biggest aspect if is like remote monitoring. The vehicles can be monitored remotely. It can also be controlled remotely.
Right.
So it can also collect the data from the vehicles and its own components.
Hmm.
So with the conventional vehicles, that is not really possible because those doesn't produce any, like a lot of the components within the system don't produce any data. Those are not digital components. Or here, everything drivetrain, the powertrain, all of the connected devices. If we design it such a way that can produce the data, the
Right.
another advantage is we can make over the air upgrades. So once we sell the vehicle, the software part can be upgraded easily without having them to bring in or um, kind of any physical interaction with the people. So that makes the whole process very efficient, and in long run it increases like cost effectiveness of the vehicle ownership. Then energy management, so charging, the scheduling of the vehicle, they can utilize it, the whole efficient energy saving, like even back to the grid, that can plan efficiently based on the demand, that is possible with the help of usage of IoT in the EV industry.
Right, right. So, considering all the applications and benefits that EV provides, it must have a significant impact on the user experience as well. So, how does it affect?
So biggest advantage for the users is that all of the data can be in their palm, like, and they can control the device with the fingertips. So with the help of mobile application, they can remotely monitor the vehicle. They can gather data like battery level, how much range is there, whether the service is required. They can also precondition vehicle for for in-cabin temperatures, or they can precondition for charging. They can also do the route planning, like what is the most energy efficient, cost efficient route planning. They can also find out whether they will be able to complete the trip with the charging. If not, then where they can stop for the charging station. So everything is possible for them, and that makes their life so much easier. I mean, if you see the satisfaction ratio, people who are owning EV, they rarely want to go back to the conventional vehicles. So it proves that the value is tremendous.
All right. It's fascinating as well to explore all of this in the recent time, right? So yeah, like EV has been benefiting to the users in a very high level. So definitely, I would say that there will be an applications or some software given to the user. So who will be creating these softwares? Whether this will be the battery management system providers or the EV manufacturers, or how does it work?
So that's a very good question, and that's the problem I think industry is facing right now. So there are companies who trying to get the software from the component manufacturer. Now, component manufacturer create the software; those are specific for those components and their firmware. So that is great for that particular component. But when you combine with the rest of the other components within the vehicle, that software is not as productive and as efficient. So to answer it, I think the companies like Tesla, who has a greater integration of software and hardware, they can win it. But that's not possible because every company, every component manufacturer cannot be centralized, and that's not good for the growth of the industry or future of the industry as well. So to answer, I think the companies who are specialized in software, they can combine the best of all of them. They can maintain the part of it, something similar to like Android ecosystem or even iOS app store. They are maintaining the main core of the software along with the hardware that works with the different components of the hardware. So those kind of companies would be great in designing the software from ground up and maintaining the ecosystem, considering all the like legal and regulatory aspects as well.
Right, right. So, like, if they want to develop the software related to that, do they need to provide any certain informations to the developers or somewhere in order to collaborate well to bring the better output?
So I think, I mean, if you want to create a great ecosystem, everything has to be in the design,
Right.
and they need to design the component such a way. So right now the industry is reactive. They create the hardware first and they try to put software on top of it.
Right.
I would recommend that in near future things will change. The way it will work is like whenever they are designing hardware, they will keep the end user's experience in mind,
Hmm.
and they will try to make sure that whatever software features they want to give, those should be in the inherent design of the firmware or their hardware components.
Right.
So best thing is that I feel like whenever they are designing hardware, they need to narrow down the scope. Who will be the end users? What are the vehicles they can put into it? And then what will be the end experience of those vehicles, or the expectations by the OEMs and owners of the vehicles.
All right. Yeah. So I have heard about like certain challenges of battery charging or charging stations somewhere, and so will we recover those challenges that battery charging is facing, or there will be a future of batteryless EVs, or how the future would be all about for EV sector, and how IoT will cope up with that.
Um, it's a kind of a question, and there are a lot of other questions that those are kind of needs to be answered right now. I mean, the biggest, even bigger question is about data security and privacy.
Right,
So battery charging, the data exchange, how data goes to the grid, whether grid will be able to provide all those energy needs that is required by future EV vehicles. Are they ready for it? Do we have any ecosystem that ensures, or there are any standards in the industry that ensures that whatever data is exchanged, those are secure and those are not hacked, or those are not being lost, those are interoperable. So uh, there are also challenges now about batteryless. Right now I don't think anyone is focusing on it. There are battery swapping networks, there are better chargers available. um,
right,
Batteryless would be, if probably nuclear energy will come, and then that might be possible, but we don't see it in near future, probably in a decade or so. So, and I might not be the right person to talk about, but
right,
the more integrated the vehicle and ecosystem, software will be a key in like for growing this part of the EVs. And
right,
the companies are realizing it. Even conventional car manufacturer companies knows, they started knowing that the value of the software is too high, that they cannot ignore a part of it. So when things will advance, they will have vehicle to vehicle communication, that will be seamless, and vehicle to V2X, I mean vehicle to everything else communication, that will be seamless. The AI will play a major role into it. They will have better analytics, they will have better planning, they will have better manufacturing uh, uh, like practices. So the cost has to go down. So there are a lot of unanswered questions. We are really in the beginning of the boom of this industry.
right.
So future is very optimistic, but it's kind of a time where everyone has to play together and come up with some kind of consensus on how the device will be manufactured and adopted.
Right, right. It's a very good insights that you have shared, and I'm damn sure that users will get benefited out of it. So, any keynote that you would like to give to the audiences about EV, about IoT, and how both will be integrated, or something that based on your experience?
So as I said earlier, EVs are the whole acceleration of EV industry is based on the IoT integration to it. So without connectivity, EVs are like not as efficient and not as progressing. So I would recommend anyone who are in manufacturing devices, they can exploit the IoT technologies to their discretion. If they are in hardware manufacturing, they consider end user experience in mind while designing hardware, so that they can have very much good optimal software. And
Right,
the best thing is that if they adopt to a platform that is that combines all of the devices, and those are tested and kind of validated by some company who takes the responsibility of the data integrity and all the standards, that would be the future I'm seeing right now.
all right. Yeah, that's excellent thing that we are also hoping forward to. And yeah, so one last question that I have is like, if users or the audience that would like to get in touch with you, how you can assist them, and what would be the right way?
So as in part of Intues, I mean, we are also developing um, the software ecosystem for EVs, smaller EVs,
Okay,
like specifically in developing countries like India.
right.
And they can reach out to us anytime. Links will be there below. They can reach out to me I'm also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and they can also email me kr@intues.com.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much for being here, and it's a wonderful sessions that we have.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks.